you know, really does normally shine in such heavy decision making that you're pretty confident you get a win with it if you think you can outplay your opponent. But for now, it's going to be the Tempo Mage mirror in terms of style, but not exact deck places.
Yeah, so GundamFlame's definitely running the more consistent list. As I said earlier, 2 ofs of every card that he could have 2 ofs of. Obviously, you cannot carry 2 copies of Blood Mage Xelnos in your deck or 2 copies of Yogg-Saron, but everything else, which is very streamlined. No Firelands Portal, which has kind of become, I think, a staple, a one-off in that. And, you know, that's pretty much it. Just once you get to Yogg-Saron, and the 2 Cabalist Tomes are there, give a little more gas and control matchups, but...
Yep, when we see a Cabalist Tome in GundamFlame's hand. But again, pretty good opening for him. He has the Mana Worm and the 2 drops of the Apprentice and the Sorcerer. But Handsomeguy not looking too bad either with his own Apprentice and a couple of cheap spells to deal with. So the Frostball and the Fireball being used to actually just really gain you tempo going forward is going to be pretty useful for Handsomeguy here.
So GundamFlame choosing to play down the Sorcerer's Apprentice over the Cult Sorcerer there. And I'm curious, do you necessarily buy into that, or would you just play down the Cult Sorcerer?
I think with the idea of using Arcane Intellect next turn, and then the Cult Sorcerer making cards along the lines of Arcane Missiles and Arcane Blast free, then you can really, you know, like gain some huge tempo swings with that, being able to just cast free spells. So I don't mind the Apprentice here, because I feel like you kind of want the Sorcerer for combo-based moves later on in the game to remove some of the bigger minions from Handsomeguy.
Sure, I'm buying it. It's one of those situations where you have to believe the Sorcerer or the young Apprentice is, Sorcerer's Apprentice is probably going to die, but I like to dream big, so that's good.
Yeah, and also it means, you know, you as you said, you ask Handsomeguy the question of, well, if you don't kill this, this is a huge problem, because what, you know, it gains so much value in the following turns it's alive, and he is going to leave it up and choose to Frostbolt down the Mana Worm, so doesn't want the Mana Worm to really run away with the game, as we mentioned in the last series, it has the potential to do.
Yeah, going ahead and getting rid of that. Now, he had the opportunity to take a line of play where he had pretty good odds, I believe, to get rid of both minions, but playing it pretty conservatively thus far, and that's interesting to me considering how aggressive this matchup can get very quickly. Yeah,
what's kind of funny is, though, by not playing a minion, it meant the potential value of the Sorcerer is actually lower because you can't react with spells to minions. So it's, you know, kind of a strange interaction there by not presenting targets. Make it even worse, and that is a very, oh my god, okay. I was gonna say that is a very aggressive Arcane Missiles, but if the 2 pings from the Flamewaker clear out the minion, then who cares?
Give that Flamewaker the Oscar for best dramatic performance. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh, it's a Sorcerer. Are we just gonna, nope, doesn't live, doesn't die. Just dies in the end.
Yeah, and then we see the power of the Cult Sorcerer again, just the extra spell power, making much cleaner kills on the minions, and that Flamewaker did a great job, but he was ushered swiftly off the stage after collecting his Oscar.
Yeah, it just takes his bow, takes Frostbolt to the face for his troubles.
He wasn't even allowed a speech. Yeah, he had it prepared. He worked on it all night, didn't sleep, and then it's just straight off the bat.
I'm pretty sure we've all heard enough of what Flamewaker has to say.
Agreed. 100% agreed. But now, GundamFlame is going to continue with the slight initiative of now he has the Drake on the board, and Handsomeguy going to have to work how he wants to deal with this, and I actually just like Mana Worm Fireball.
Yeah, it's very clean. What I don't like here is playing Cabalist Tome.
He might do it, though. It's turn 5, and you have it in hand.
No, he's going to go ahead and take the safer road.
It's
here.
the power, it's the spell damage, right? You know, that's the problem again. Arcane Blast, and then even Frostbolts, Arcane Missiles can just prove so many more problems, even if it's just +1 damage on those spells.
Now, with the second Sorcerer's Apprentice in hand, GundamFlame has a pretty long list of options here in terms of what he wants to do. Could go so far as to, you know, Forgotten Torch, the Mana Worm off the board, draw some cards, play the free Mirror Image. That's interesting to me. Actually choosing to hold the Sorcerer's Apprentice and just use the Arcane Intellect, draw some cards, play the Forgotten Torch. Although, realistically, when you looked at what was in his hand, it wasn't necessarily like he was getting too much value out of the discount.
Yeah.
And now with a clean board, I do like the Cabalist Tome play.
Yeah, it's going to be able to just get him ahead in cards. And also, as you said, there's no pressure on the board, so he doesn't need to react to anything yet. And it's really, really funny where I feel like both players are trying to bait out, you know, minions and removal from each other, so in a very careful game.
A very careful game indeed, Raven. Baiting is a great term for what is going on there, but goes ahead, just plays down the mirror images. So obviously these represent no threat, but they're just kind of on the board. Another spell that plays into Yogg-Saron and gives GundamFlame the heads-up message like, all right, if you play something, it has to get through this before it can hit me.
Yeah, and it just, as he said, just delays their minions being able to hit there and start pressuring for damage. Now we see Water Elemental in both players' hands. They're not going to hit the board quite yet, and that's a really good minion in this matchup because Fireball is the only thing that, you know, really much lines up with the Water Elemental's health.
Yeah, GundamFlame could have chosen to build a wall of his own there, and we could have had, you know, a little bit of wall warfare going on, but chooses not to.
Very boring one.
Yeah.
They're just looking at each other.
I gotta say, in general, this match has been very non-explosive. Maybe that's about to change here with the second Flameworker coming down, but both of these guys playing very civilized tempo Mage mirror.
Yeah, and the Roaring Torch already in GundamFlame's hand, so not too long ago, if you recall, he played one of his Forgotten Torches and already got effectively a 3-mana Fireball in hand combined with his other one, so this is looking really good for him. Is he going to use the more expensive one now, as it just builds into his turn a lot nicer and save the cheaper one for more of a dramatic effect later on in the game?
Right, doesn't have a pressing need to play down the mirror images, so just go ahead and fit in that 4-mana Fireball, and wow.
Yeah. This is why the spell power minions are so important in matchups where you want to just really efficiently trade with minions. Arcane Blast is so powerful. And I do like just using the second one and then going into missiles.
Yeah, just go ahead and get that full clear.
You don't need to mess about.
He is starting to run a little bit low on options now. The Water Elemental is there to be played down, sure. Spellbender, I think Spellbender's actually probably better in this matchup than it is in most. But even then, it's not necessarily that powerful.
Yeah, I think it's good because a lot of the spells are actually just targeted burn spells, or to be used as removal, which we've been seeing throughout this whole game. It's a very board-centric style both players are taking, with neither player being able to use the option of actually being highly aggressive, then just burning your opponent down to finish up. So I think Handsomeguy, although his hand is getting quite low, he has the Water Elemental, he already has the Drake onto the board, and then with the Spellbender, it's just another card that's going to help him get more value from his minions that are already there doing work.
Right, and obviously, anytime you play a Mage spell, or sorry, Mage Secret, there is the added value of your opponent has to play inefficiently to basically figure out what it is, because Spellbender is obviously one of the best case scenarios on what it could be.
Yeah, and look at this from GundamFlame. He did use his own tome there. Got a Fireball, a Violence Pole, and a Vaporize, so a lot of fiery death in coming out of that tome there. But Vaporize is going to be pretty nice. To your point, just saying that when the Secret's played, you've got to think about all the options, and so far, this is only an Azure Drake, on the board, and a huge Babbling Book now. I wonder if Handsomeguy is even going to attack with that Babbling Book on the board. He's going to go for it, and the swift nod, yes, it's Vaporized. But if he didn't go for it, he could potentially lose 4 damage for nothing, which is a bit of a problem in itself.
I like Handsomeguys' expression there. Kind of frowns a little bit, like looking at the Drake, like, yeah, sorry, buddy. Someone had to get in there.
Someone had to pro the Secret. And also, to be honest, he's so experienced. A lot of players that have, are so comfortable in this kind of environment take a lot of the more uncommon outcomes in the game in their stride and actually be able to just deal with it and not be too fussed. It's like, yes, he could have tried to do something funky about the Vaporize, but even the Babbling Bug probably would have been pinged the following turn, and it's not like you want to use your Elemental to die anyway, so I think it was fine for Handsomeguy. Like you said, he had to test the Secret regardless. Yeah,
and obviously Vaporize and Spellbender are essentially the 2 most uncommon secrets to ever pop up in decks from the original set. But GundamFlame ready to go off on this turn. He has the potential to do a lot, and that Spellbender could actually be pretty big here.
Yeah, I wonder if he plays around it, because he could with Arcane Blast.
Oh, if he goes with the Portal, this could be a big win.
This is the second best option than Arcane Blast for no reason, because he still gets the minion. Whereas if he just Fireballed it, then there's a problem, because you just Fireball a 1/3. Proves a big problem. So although the Elemental is still alive after this, he has gained the Bishop now, but the 3/6 on the board still has to hit through the token. But never mind, Handsomeguy isn't even going to bother. The 2 minions can attack, so we know the Taunt minion has in fact gained some form of buff to be able to attack him. Wow, Thistle Tea into 3 of the Cult Sorcerers. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, this Yogg so far is looking like one of the more convoluted ones, and it's just follow it as it goes along here. Dogs wearing hats. Savage Roar. Ooh.
I mean, this could just be game.
GundamFlame just kind of scratching his head. Can't really blame him here.
Yeah, the 17 damage, 18, 19. Oh, now that's been reduced down. Okay, there isn't quite enough. But it was very close to just actually killing him that turn, which is scary in itself. But more importantly, the board is intact for Handsomeguy. GundamFlame doesn't really have any good options. Has he even got enough burn to even think about killing him? I don't believe so. 26 for Handsomeguy in terms of health. And GundamFlame has not pressured him enough, but hey, if you need something to come back from a Yogg, it's a Yogg. It's only weak to itself. It's so powerful.
All right, we're going to bow before the God of Death for a second time. Dark Bar.
Oh.
Wow. Well.
Very mixed results. A 1-1 and a Yogg. Okay, the taunt's not going too bad. Hand of Protection would like to be on the Yogg. Does get it.
Healing Touch could be big if it hits him.
So many minions on the board, though.
Nah,
There
healed
we
the
go.
Water Elemental. What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah. Oh, Swipe. Definitely going to help clear up the, well, Adog at least. Ice Block. Oh, my. So if GundamFlame got the Ice Block and then didn't throw away 2 of his burn cards, then that could have been huge, actually, because there would have been the hope that he survives additional turns and can just kill his opponent, because Handsomeguy, never mind with the rest of my thought, Handsomeguy just has Polymorph that I actually kind of missed in hand to be able to deal with this Yogg Saron and turn him into a little sheep.
You know, you get what you get. That's what, you know, life lessons.
Sage wisdom. Sage wisdom. You, guys, you get what you get. Deal with it.
Sucks
and then
to
the glasses
suck.
just come down.
Yeah. No, it's hard to feel bad for Yogg Saron most of the time, but yeah, gonna go ahead and just pop the block. And, you know, I can't really fault you for missing that Polymorph, as there was a lot going on in that sequence. But yeah, GundamFlame has 1 more turn, no more Yoggs, basically out of burn, and I think that's going to go ahead and spell a 3-1 deficit for the Japanese player.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one for GundamFlame. That Yogg from Handsomeguy, exceptionally powerful.